Welcome to the Journey with the Prophets. It's a reflective video series about the major prophets' teachings on God's plan for the world and our lives today. In this video, we're going to look at the well-known but unusual story of God testing and providing for Prophet Abraham. You can find the story in Genesis chapter 22, which you can read from the link below. Before you read, pray that God will speak to you and open your heart for His teachings today. What happens when God is testing us? God tests His people. This is not to make us fail, but to transform our life experiences, and to open our eyes to who we are and who God is. In verse 2, God told Abraham, "Go up to the land of Moriah, take your beloved son and sacrifice him as a burnt offering." God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son, his own flesh and blood. What kind of God would do that, even if it's just a test? God surely knew the outcome. So what's the point? Why did God want Abraham to go through such horrible experience? However, by now Abraham had learned to recognize the voice of God, and to trust Him even when he couldn't understand God's plan. He knew that God would be faithful to His promises about this boy. So Abraham cut some wood, put it on his son's shoulders, and off they went up to the mountain. Where is the lamb? Try to imagine the tension as Abraham was walking up the hill. The boy asked a very important question. Where is the lamb for the burnt offering? But Abraham answered with confidence. God Himself will provide a lamb for the sacrifice. When they arrived, Abraham built an altar, bound his son, placed him on the altar, and he lifted up his knife. If the Lord asked me to do something very costly, do I know and trust God enough to obey with confidence? At this very moment, the angel of the Lord called Abraham to stop. Now I know that you fear God, because you did not withhold your son. Verse 12. Then, just as Abraham already knew by faith, God really provided. Abraham saw a ram caught by the horns in the bush. So he took the ram and used it as a substitute for his son on the altar. So what's the point of this test? This event had a huge significance not only for Abraham, but for all of God's people. First, what was Abraham's true blessing? God promised to bless Abraham and the nations through this son. But what is Abraham's true blessing and inheritance? Was it his son? Or was it God Himself? The event placed Abraham's heart on God rather than on his son as his true source of hope and salvation. What does our heart's ultimate desire rest upon today? God's blessings or God Himself? Second, how did Abraham know God would provide? Do you think he really believed in it when he said it? Abraham had already been harshly tested while he waited for a son with Sarah in their old age. This was the blessing that defined his life's calling. He had no time for another son. He trusted that the same God who gave him his son through a miracle would also keep His promise. The burnt offering is the sacrifice that signifies a total surrender to God. But Abraham called this mountain the Lord will provide. Only God can provide what is needed, and He always does at the right time. Finally, God provided a substitute at Moriah. The location of this historical event was Moriah, a place we know today as the city of Jerusalem. And what could be in the son's mind as he noticed there was no lamb? God said this son would become the blessing of all nations. Yet the power is not in him, but in God. Of course, for God to bless all the nations, it would need more than just one animal. So every part of this story is a sign pointing to a greater sacrifice and God's greater provision in the future. God will reveal His plan to more prophets later. Stay tuned. What are your thoughts after reading the story? Here are some questions for you to think, pray and share. Question 1. Where do we place our hope and desires? God's blessings or God Himself? Why is this distinction important? 2. What does God reveal about Himself and His relationship with His people in this story? 3. Is God speaking to you through this story? How would you respond to God? 4. Who can you share this story with? If you have questions or thoughts, comment below or contact us at BeMyLight.net. If you like the video, remember to like and subscribe. May God's peace and wisdom be with you.